Good morning, students. Welcome back. This is the color ribbon final demonstration. We're just going to look at the first color. I've got a couple little thumbnails. This is one with words that I had created, and I'll have a video for that. If you saw the post, this is the artist analysis that I created. This is a Rich Pellegrino painting of Willy Wonka. And these are the colors that I'm going to try to use in my ribbon, and I will make that for you. Here is my quick thumbnail for my idea for this painting. I slightly am basing it off of this meme, and here is my layout drawing, and I've shaded it. I'm going to be painting on a wood panel. So here is the start. You can see me laying out some colors, and I'm going to focus specifically on trying to paint the first color on the far left. I'm going to be using a light blue because that's part of the colors that I had picked from the painting. You can see me mixing it up here. And then I'm going to start to wash it in on the whole painting. So here we go. I am just staining that whole area with very watery, very thin, very light color. And I'm trying to be precise and stay inside my drawing. So this is the first strip of color on my ribbon. And I'm just going to cover everything. I'm just painting right on top of it. As it dries, I can still see through. I can still see my pencil lines. I can still see my shading. That is kind of to your advantage so that you can start to block in the different values or different areas of color. So I'm blocking this in. There's the bottom. I've done quite a few of these on wood, and so I usually kind of like to make the drips happen at the bottom. So that's what I'm trying to make happen here. The one thing that is going to happen here is this wood is very, very porous. It's soaked up a lot of the color. And then the one other thing is I wish I would have drawn it the other way with the grain so that the drips would drop with the grain versus they're going across the grain and they don't look great. So once I have this all stained with blue, then I can start to put in lights and shadows. So in this demonstration, I am going to start with the lights. I'm mixing up a lighter, whiter version of blue, and we've kind of switched to real-time painting. So this is as fast as I was painting. And I'm trying to find the different areas on this sculpture or this picture where light is hitting. And I'm going to start to kind of block in a little bit of color, a little bit of light. Because this wood is porous, it's very wet when I start to do this. So this is very blendable. On paper or on illustration board, it might not blend quite as much as it does here, but that is what I am able to do. And I kind of put those highlights in. I'm letting them sit and dry just a little bit. And now I'm going to start mixing colors for some shadows or for some darker areas. So I'm mixing that up. We're speeding back up because this is a bigger portion. And now I'm going to block in the places where I was shading with my pencil. I am now shading with a darker color of blue. So I'm getting my shadows painted in. And the idea for this color ribbon is you're going to get lighter as you go towards a light. You're going to get darker as you go away from the light. And just because this doesn't move exactly like a ribbon, or like our idea of a ribbon, it still can be painted in the same way as we kind of round around forms. A lot of this color is going on the bottom edges of things. As it starts to move down and away, I can add extra shadow to each part and build up those tones. This bottom part is kind of like an underplane for everything. So I'm actually putting quite a bit of extra dark down here. And I'll start to do the same thing for the other areas. You know, I put in a shadow, but then it kind of blended in, it kind of soaked into the wood. So then I'll go back in and I'll start to add some more shadow and make those shadows show up a little bit better. And so that's kind of what I do is I stain the color, then I maybe do shadows, or maybe I go towards my lights, but I'm still going to keep adding darker shadows and brighter highlights as I progress through to different parts. So here, I think I'm back to adding lights, and it's a little bit lighter. I'm adding a little more white to the blue to get that lighter light. And this time, I'm paying attention to edges, and I'm able to kind of blend them a little bit. This area, all of it is still pretty wet. And then as it dries, it gets a little bit darker, like you would expect with some acrylic. So I'm trying to, the top part of the cheek gets some light, the top part of the eye, the upper lid, the brow above the eye. The sculpture that this has come from is Michelangelo's David. And this is just like a replica 3D print that I had made thanks to animation instructors. So I just keep building up the light, keep building up the shadow, but you can start to see the dimension for all this. So this is the end of that first part of painting. This is how this is looking at the end of this stage. I have continued to go through and paint and add some more, and you'll see that in the next video.